All right. Well, things are not all grim for the Democrats, according to Slate. You have spoken a lot
Is
about
Slate still
the.
around?
They are still. Well, they're trying. Reportedly, they're still around. They think they are. You've spoken pretty harshly about the AOC and the squad, but according to Slate, this is the solution to the Democrats' problems. Why not AOC? Surely no one will have a problem with this proposal for whom Democrats should nominate next. Do you think they're right about this? And if not, why not?
I mean, these parlor games are so useless about like the prospective Democratic nominee 4 years from now. I mean, you could engage in the parlor games in 2020 that Trump would want to run again and dominate the Republican primary because there was like no other conceivable alternative really, other than like the conservative intelligentsia, quote unquote, who wanted to rally around like Ron DeSantis as an intellectual alternative to Trump, but that was always obviously doomed. But as for the Democrats now, it seems pretty wide open to me. I mean, I think anybody who has some individualized base of support, which AOC clearly does, is probably at least in the running. I think she loves to go around and try to flex her political muscle by endorsing candidates who almost invariably seem to lose. Like the funniest example of that was when she tried to endorse the Buffalo mayoral candidate, who was a self-described socialist. I believe it was in 2021, who ended up losing to the incumbent in a write-in vote.
In a write-in.
Yeah. So the write-in mayor, was it Byron Brown? Is that right?
Yeah, and India Walton was the socialist. Yeah.
Yes, and AOC thought that she was going to tip India Walton over the edge with her amazing endorsement, but that blew up in their faces. And
it wasn't even close. That was like a 60-30 race. It was like a 2-1.
Yeah, imagine losing to a write-in candidate 60-30.
Yeah,
that's pretty embarrassing.
After she beat him in the primary. That's why he won as a write-in, because she successfully primaried him, and he decided, well, fuck it, I'm not stepping down. I'm just going to run as a write-in.
Yeah. He did the Lisa Murkowski. That's still one of the most amazing electoral events in U.S. history, I think. In 2010, Lisa Murkowski also lost in the Republican primary in Alaska, Senate primary, to a so-called Tea Party candidate. And then she ran as an independent, she ran as a Republican.
Yeah.
As a write-in, and she won, and she had to go around teaching everybody how to spell her last name exactly right, because if anybody misspelled the last name Murkowski, the votes would have been deemed ineligible. So that was fascinating.
So you couldn't run as a write-in because too many people would spell your name Tracy.
I know. I would lose. I would lose for sure.
Yeah. I would lose. They'd only use one S in Weiss. I would lose. Yeah.
I've been constantly beleaguered by people misspelling my name without the necessary E for years and years and years.
Yeah, I bet.
So one of my problems is that there's a fairly common, I think, Jewish surname Tracey without an E, but the Irish derivation, which is mine, has an E, and they always get conflated, and it's a real struggle for me. Yeah. So I couldn't win a write-in race. You're right.
That's right. No, you couldn't. You'd be screwed.
When you look at, I mean, whenever you see articles like this, it's clearly what the Washingtonian parlor game is focusing on. This is what they're talking about amongst themselves. And it really shows how much, to me, they don't get it. They don't get it. They think, okay, well, we did kind of mess up with the whole Bernie movement. We need to get those people back. Completely oblivious to the fact that AOC is alienated that movement, that putting her in is not going to get those people back. In many ways, they feel betrayed by her. I went to the Bowman rally in the where was that, the Bronx?
It was the Bronx. Yeah,
they couldn't get 1,000 people there. It was hard. It was Bernie. I mean, that whole movement is gone. It's gone. Nobody showed up for it. I think it was like 500 DSA members and 7 other people.
Well, AOC still comfortably wins re-election and probably will for the rest of her life in her district, right? So it's not totally gone in the sense that the personage of AOC still has some political power.
She does have a big, district where any blue candidate is going to win.
That's true, but she's the one who insinuated herself into the district, so it's hers for as long as she wants it.
Sure. Yeah, no, I agree with that. Yeah, I don't think she's a national candidate. I don't think she has any chance in the world.
I think that one truism I've learned over the past couple cycles is that anybody who thinks that they have even a conceivable chance of like winning a half a delegate in a Republican, in a Democratic or Republican presidential primary, but especially the Democratic primaries, I think this coming cycle will probably run. So if like anybody's getting hyped, anybody's like rumored to be considering running, just assume that they're going to run. Like, so I'll give you a couple of names that did end up running in 2020. Tell me if you even remember these. Deval Patrick.
Right.
Deval Patrick ran for president. Eric Swalwell, Seth Moulton. Do those names ring a bell? Probably not for most viewers, but they did technically run the Democratic primary.
We're politics junkies, so we
okay. So you guys know
most people would not. Yeah.
Exactly. How about let's go to the 2016 Republican primary? Jim Gilmore.
Right.
Do people know that name? Almost certain. I would be surprised if even you guys know it. But if you do, congratulations.
That one I do not.
That one I don't know, actually.
That was the governor of, I'm a maniac, so I can explain it to you in very comprehensive detail. He was the governor of Virginia for one term, 98 to 2002. And he ran briefly in the 2008 Republican presidential primary, which he made no impact on. And then he ran again technically in the 2016 Republican primary, made no impact on. George Pataki ran in 2016.
That I remember.
So that's a more recognizable one. The point is that the incentives of the presidential primaries are so skewed that it makes a lot of sense for people who have no chance of winning to run, because what happens? They get a lot of media attention. They can convert that into a financial gain, writing a book, doing some kind of media appearance, having a show, becoming a pundit. You can always put like former 2020 or 2024 presidential candidate in your bio, and people find that really impressive for some stupid reason. It always helps more than hurts, or seems to for the most part. Like Chris Christie ran in 2016, right? People thought that he was debasing himself by endorsing Trump. Well, he got himself into Trump's orbit, and he was like nominally at least in charge of the first Trump transition before getting fired by Kushner. And then became like one of the most prized pundits in the land, has this gig on like ABC News, tried at least nominally to run again in 2024. And it's very lucrative. So I think even in terms of like raising their political profile and like gaining more stature, all the incentives militate toward running, even if you have like a 0.01% chance of winning. And I think AOC probably has a small chance of winning, but it's higher than like 0.01%. So why not?
Please clap.